I put this video off for so long. I've been trying to make this introduction video for the past 3 weeks, and it just hasn't been working out. So I ended up getting sick, and I said, you know what, I'm going to record it anyway. Hello, everyone. My name is Anisha, and this is going to be my introduction video to YouTube, I guess. And I actually made a video 5 years ago showing you how to take in the waist of your jeans using the dart method through the pockets. So if you want to check that out, that's posted on my page if that's something you're interested in. But I'm making this video what my intentions are with creating the YouTube channel. I've been sewing for over 20 years now, and I got into sewing because of my grandma. And I bought my first sewing machine from her for $100. She did not want to give me a free sewing machine. And it was that same Christmas. So my grandpa gave me $100 at Christmas. And I turned around and gave that $100 to my grandma to buy a sewing machine from her. It was a Singer home machine. So this home machine, the quality of it was really, really good. It was very sturdy. And my grandma only invested in high quality sewing items and sewing machines and fabrics and all that. So she taught me, when I bought that machine from her, she taught me the basics of how to work the machine, how to thread it and sew on it, the different stitches and how to do the bobbin, right? And from then, I pretty much was teaching myself how to sew and how to create different kinds of garments. When I was in high school, I remember making skirts for the girls, like the simple elastic skirts with like a yard of fabric and you gather it. And I was only selling them for $5. So by the time I bought the elastic and the materials and everything, I was already in the thread. I was already spending more than $5. So I was in the negative, but I just didn't care I didn't care. I just kept making them and selling them for $5 because I loved it and I enjoyed the whole process of learning and the trial and error of it. Maybe like a year or two after, when it was homecoming, I had made 4 or 5 outfits, and oh my god, they turned out cute in my opinion for someone that didn't really have proper sewing experience. But it was a whole lot of trial and error with that and a whole lot of messing up on fabric. No matter what, I was so determined to figure it out. And shortly after that, when I finished high school, I immediately went into fashion design school because I knew I need to lock in and take this serious and clean up, and learn the right way to really construct garments and to understand the proper way to do sewing and successfully make something beautiful. So I went to school for fashion design and it was so much fun. I loved it. And then after that, after I was done with fashion design school, one of my friends was like, are you interested in becoming a tailor and doing alterations? I was like, sure, why not? Why not? And I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but kind of find out knowing how to sew and knowing how to do alterations is completely different. Okay. And I learned the right way. I took my sewing knowledge that I had. I learned how to do alterations. Learning how to do alterations is almost like starting from zero, I guess, in a way. But being able to deconstruct or open up a garment, cut it open if you need to, or take it in with the seam, and then putting it back the same way that you first got it in its original form, but in the measurements of that specific customer is really a top-notch skill. And so I did that. So I started in like men's clothing, and then I went to big retailer stores, and I worked in the alterations department for some years. And there we did everything. We did men's, women's clothing, designer, specialty finishings, and yeah. After that, I also worked in bridal for some time. I worked for a bridal shop, and yeah, that was bridal is really something. But honestly, I know people have certain viewpoints about brides and bridezillas and everything, but I still would love to have a bridal shop, do bridal alterations one day. I know it sounds crazy, but that's one of my like, I would do that one day. So that's a little bit of my background. And I also went to school for fashion merchandising, and I also went to school for education. So all those things together represent like what I want to do with fashion, teach alterations. So I would love to get into that one day where I can, offer that. Um, so yeah, another thing that I did for some time before COVID, I did it for probably about 2 to 3 years, sewing lessons. And why I wanted to create this YouTube channel is to get back into like that teaching, merging the teaching and the sewing together. And yeah, and hopefully it can help someone out there if they're struggling with sewing, or trying to figure out the machine, or trying to troubleshoot, or maybe wanting to know how to make a pattern from scratch. I've been seeing a lot online that people are getting into sewing in 2026, and pattern making is another topic that I've been seeing. And I want to create some videos about maybe some easy ways to do pattern making, and how you can create patterns from clothes that you have in your closet already, so that you don't have to buy any. Sewing is easier than you think, and I know it sounds very like vague or cliche or whatever, but after going through like that learning phase of trial and error and teaching myself and getting the sewing machine jammed, needles breaking, all that, like, speaking of needles breaking, you really have to understand like the fabric that you're working with, the machine that you're working with, and how to work that machine, and what needles you need. So for example, one example that came into my mind is when you're trying to sew denim on a, a home machine that did not cost much, and it just is only for the basic of the most basic things. So it's like you can't really expect to sew through like really thick fabric on a machine that can't really handle that fabric, if that makes sense. So like for me, I have a home machine that I want to do an unboxing of, and I had bought it because I just needed to buy it for a quick hem that I needed to do, and I didn't have access to my sewing machines back here. So I have industrial sewing machine, and this is my Juki serger. Now, ideally, I would love to have an industrial overlock serger machine, but I just don't have the space right now in here to bring that in. But otherwise, I would have one. I would encourage you to eventually get heavy duty machines on top of having your home machine, like good quality home machines, if you decide to continue to sew or go into business with sewing, become a seamstress tailor, or sell items, like tote bags, or how people sell those cute items like at farmers markets and stuff like that. Then eventually, um, yeah, for those things that need like zigzag stitch, because the industrial machines, they only do straight stitch for the most part. I encourage you to eventually invest in that when the time is right, and if you really get into sewing, so like I feel like I'm just rambling right now, but I kind of took notes, but not really. I want to also talk about like some sewing tools that you will need when you start to learn how to sew, and then also how to use them. I would love to talk about that or make a video about that. So I made a video on my social media about invest in a overlock machine and a sewing machine at the same time if you can, and if you're also serious about sewing and getting into that. And I said that because if you're going to take it serious, you might as well do like go through the trial and error with both of the machines and learn them at the same time, so that it kind of saves you time, I guess. And then when you're making things, you can also make them with the clean finish on with the serger. Another big thing that is really popular is upcycling and repurposing clothes. So I would love to make videos about that, and I also want to make videos about how I can upcycle my daughter's clothes from onesies and make them into dresses, because there's a lot of parents out there that want to repurpose the clothing or do more than just cut the, the onesie part off and turn it into a t-shirt. I want to do videos about how to like hem the top of that, hem the bottom of the now shirt, the onesie turned shirt, hem that, and then also show you how to turn that into like a dress, or um, how to create a pattern from those onesies that your children or your child can still fit. So I love to do that kind of content, because now that I'm a mom to a 16-month-old, I think that is could be some relatable content that maybe some moms out there are looking to find help on. So I would love to make some videos about that. But if there's anything else that I may have missed, or if there's any other thing that you might have a question about or need help with, or if there is any video ideas that you would like for me to make, put that in the comments below and let me know so I can make it. On my jean video that I posted 5 years ago, there was someone that left a comment asking me to show them how to shorten the crouch of the jeans, because of the waist, it comes up too high. So I'm guessing it's a petite person. So I thought that was interesting, and that would be a cool video to make, because there might be more people out there that struggle with that and want to know how to shorten the crouch of some pants or jeans. So even though I don't have that issue for me, because I'm taller, I'm like 5'7.5". There's a lot of people out there that could probably benefit from that, so I can make a video about that. Overall, I just wanted to make this quick video to introduce myself, and I'm excited to create more videos and share my knowledge with you, and hopefully it can be helpful. And yeah, so if you're interested in seeing more videos and more content from me, subscribe to my channel and like this video if it was something that you found interesting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.